Scrappy people, Tracy Reed here today, coming at you with a quick and easy life-crafted process video using the Cocoa Daisy Spice Market collection and these photos of my son strumming the guitar. We have lots of guitars and lots of guitar playing around here, and I took these photos because I loved the way that the light was hitting him and he looked very cool. And I'm pairing it with this collection because I think that the tie-dye and the color scheme and the mandalas are very like 60s rock star, or at least they have that vibe for me. So I thought that they matched the photos pretty well. I'm going to be focusing on the mandalas today, and you can see that I picked a paper that has mandalas, the tag has mandalas, and the journal card that I chose has a mandala as well. I'm doing this as part of the Cocoa Daisy Pick 3 prompt on the blog today. And I thought that instead of choosing 3 different products for this prompt, I would choose 3 instances of the same motif on 3 different products. So I thought that I would make it just slightly harder for myself because that's what I do. So I'm trying to decide on an orientation for this page, how I want it to look, because I have 2 square photos that I want to be grouped together. But since they're too large for one side of the page, they're going to have to span the page. And I actually like to do this often, even though it does cut into one of my photos when I do it. It's kind of fun to span the page. Sometimes when I'm scrapbooking in the Life Crafted size, I do miss having one solid page to scrapbook on, you know, like one 12 by 12 rather than something that's divided in the middle. So this is kind of how I split the difference and have that sort of effect without changing the page size. So I'm going to back this photo in a nice colorful card. I'm actually not going to add a lot to this page, and the reason that I don't add a lot to this page, like as far as extra papers or photo mats, is because it is already really busy. I chose to pair the wild paper with the ledger paper to kind of tone the whole thing down a little bit. I actually kind of regret that decision at this point. I think it could have been really cool if the whole page was that really bright and vibrant paper, but when I was making the decision to begin with, I thought that maybe it would be too much if I did it that way. So that's okay. I could pull it all up and add that paper back in, but I chose not to in the end because it actually came out great. Sometimes when you look back at decisions that you made creatively, you realize that because of the way that something came out, it could have been different, but there's no way that you could have told that while you were designing it. So, you know, some things are just that way, and that's okay. So I've trimmed down this journal card so that it will fit the page a little bit better, and I'm overlapping these photos so that there's no, you know, I don't cut into his head or anything like that. I'm just going to cut into his arm a little bit there. So I'm sticking these down, and then I'm going to hole punch them and trim everything up. And I'll fast forward through that process, and we are there. I decided not to add this extra piece of paper and just go with the white at the bottom because I'm going to add a large title with these orange cardstock letters. And I'm going to add, initially I add the word strum, and I was trying to figure out a title to go with strum and expand upon it, but then I realized that I need it to be a little bit longer, so I add strummer, and it ends up being Little Strummer Boy, which, you know, is a play on A Christmas Carol, which I thought was funny when I was doing it. I don't know, like I pull out strum and then I start looking at other things, and I really wanted to use this large chipboard half circle, so that's going to go here, and then I go back to the letters and start adding more as soon as I start spacing them out a little bit. So you can see me sort of contemplating here, strum, and I'm going to add in strummer. Then I'll fast forward through the sticking and plonking portion of this as soon as I find my E. There we go. And you will see, I was going to add this pink to for boy, but I decided to add the boy in the large letters, and then the pink didn't really match, or it did match. It matched too well for putting above strummer, like it's already pink right there. So I'm going to end up going with the yellow, but then I back it on a die cut and it didn't really make a difference anyway. So now I wish I had gone with the pink, but you know, like I said earlier, creative process. Sometimes you don't know how things are going to turn out in the end. I'm going to add some of these orange splatters to the page so that I can add a little bit more orange besides just the title. There's not a lot of orange represented on the page except for the title, so I wanted to add in a little bit more. The title and that word bit have orange, but like the rest of the page, the papers and all that don't really have orange on them that is visible at least. So I'm adding a little bit of orange here. This little splatter was sort of awkward to work with, but I ended up making it work. I'm going to put it a little bit over the R and a little bit over the tag. There we go. Okay, so once I get these down, I'm actually getting pretty close to done because, like I said, I don't add a lot to this page. I really am focusing on the design of the mandalas and the title and the photos. And sometimes that's okay. Sometimes I get really super creative and there's flip outs and there's all kinds of crazy stuff on my pages, and sometimes I just let the photos speak for themselves, and I like it that way. I decided to add these little, what I think are supposed to be photo corners because there's 4 of them, but I'm actually making them point out and away from my photos because I like the way that they're kind of like just decorative little bursts that I can frame my photos with. And I'm going to add in the title little. So see, I could have used pink because I backed it, but no, I did not. And now I'm going to add in some word bits, and that is about it. I'm going to add Please Don't Stop the Music because duh. And then I contemplate a few more, but I end up finding I make this look good, and I'm going to cut it in half because it is too large. I wanted to put that there, but I'm going to end up putting the other one there because it was a little bit too wide. So I'm going to put this one there instead. I make this look good, and then I contemplate a third one up at the top, but I didn't want to distract from the words that were on the tag, so I decided to not put it up there. And then I'm going to add some enamel dots and call this good. You know, I like to finish off with some enamel dots for emphasis, so I'm going to add these orange ones here. I initially was going to anchor each of these word bits with them, but I didn't like the way that that looked, so instead I'm going to do my tried and true trusty triple dot to just emphasize a few places on the page, and then I'm going to call it good. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you. If you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Tracy M. Reed. I'd love to see you over there as well. There is a link to Coco Daisy in the description box below if you're interested in picking up their products. And I will see you next time. All right. Thank you.